Shalom and call halal Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. It's your brother Alazar Van Lawyer, aka the Gorilla Hebrew. Want to give this video commentary on the BET Hip Hop Awards. It's October 19th. It's 11:04 here on the West Coast. Just watched it like an hour or two ago, and typically I hate these awards. So I have, even before I came into the troop, I just can't stand the award shows and all the faggotry that takes place at them. But in this particular award show, for some reason, I came over here to my quote unquote in-laws house, and it was on, so I watched it. Some very few key pivotal moments actually occurred at this award show, and I'm actually glad that I took 2 hours out of my time to actually watch and analyze this while it took place. Some pivotal moments. I'm gonna deal with one first. Real quick, deal with this one first. Okay. It was a Common performed a song and did a Mike Brown tribute. It was a Common song with Vince Staples and Jay Electronica. Jay Electronica is who I want to zero in on his performance and the lyrics of the song in which he performed. He said some very key and pivotal things within that. Jay Electronica, he's more of an intelligent rapper. I believe he's a 5%er. He had the 5%er chain on while he was on there, and he's dropped certain jewels on various songs that he's done. Another interesting thing about Jay Electronica is the fact that he actually is married to and has a child by a Rothschild, the elite banking, cracker, false Jewish family, and knowing that and listening to the lyrics in this song and how he says what he says boldly on that stage in front of however many people were in the building and the millions of people that watched it, it was a big deal. And I'm not saying that Jay Electronica is necessarily right or anything like that, but him doing this, it was a big statement to be made on such a big stage. And a lot of awareness is being brought to the nation of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, okay, the Black, Hispanic, and Native American. A lot of attention is being put on us and what our true identity is, and the media cannot hide or suppress it. And the reason that is because of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And if you're not familiar with that name, it's Yahweh is the name of the Most High. Bahashem means in the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of who the world knows as Jesus Christ. So it is through the spirit and power of the Most High God, in the name of His only begotten Son, our mediator to Him, that these things are happening, and it is getting broadcast on a broader scale, our true identity as the 12 tribes of Israel. And I just want to, I'm just going to play the clip. Common has some interesting things in this verse. I don't want to go into too much total analysis of the song. I just want to key in on about probably 8 bars of Jay Electronica's performance. There it was. See, that's the spirit. I gotta go back a little bit so y'all can hear this stuff. It was a big deal, and when you see the body language that especially Jay Electronica and Common have when he says what he says, how they bang on their chests, it's like they're boldly and valiantly declaring in the face of everybody our nationality. Not saying again that these guys are right, or saying that they're gonna make it, things like that, or they're avidly following the law, statute, commandments of the Most High, getting right in the eyes of the Most High. But they know enough to know our true identity, and they cared enough to let our people know by saying it, and also declaring it on BET, knowing millions of our people are gonna watch it. So it's a big deal. All right. We'll play without any further ado. Let me play this clip.
Rappers I gave birth to shot at the God. Blasphemy. Let me never to be depressed. This goes out to those that choose to use.
This goes out to those that choose to use, right? Listen.
Disrespectful views on original Jews.
Disrespectful views on original Jews, and they banged on their chest. Notice when he said original Jews, he said this is for those who choose to use disrespectful views on the original Jews. Meaning he's taking a shot at these crackers and all these different nations throughout the world that look down on the black man here in America. Okay? That was a very deep line, and he said this in front of millions of people. You know, some people may not understand the gravity and the impact that that one bar has, but it has a lot of gravity and impact. And it is a testament into the time that we're living in and living in these last days, that he was allowed to say this on the television, especially when he has a child and is married to a woman who is a descendant of those who stole our identity. She's actually literally walking around claiming the identity of a Jew, but we're the real Jews. So we got to take all these things into consideration, and we got to understand the Most High is at work when things like this happen. Again, not saying this dude is right. He's declaring himself to be a 5%er, not a Hebrew Israelite, and doing the work of the Most High and keeping the laws of the Most High. But again, that's a big deal that he said that. Let me spin it back a little bit.
King unforgettable, that king unforgettable news in the street. This goes out to those that choose to use disrespectful views on original Jews. The chosen people of God get slandered and abused.
The chosen people of God, which is us, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we get slandered and abused. He's saying this and declaring this live on BET. I don't know how many of our people are going to truly take heed and analyze what was said, but either way, he said it on a grand global stage. You know, so that's a big deal.
The streets and the news by the seed of Yaqub.
He said by the seed of Yaqub. Now, in the 5%er paradigm, they believe the seed of Yaqub is, you know, Yaqub was a big head mad scientist that created the white race in the Caucasus foothills of Georgia, Russia. Which isn't true, which is a fallacy and a fairy tale. But what he means by the seed of Yaqub is he's saying white people, so-called white people, okay, which are really the Edomites, Esau, according to the Bible. All right, so he's saying that white people speak down on the original Jews, God's chosen people, who are the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans here in America. He just said that live. You see God smiling in the crowd. You see even Nelly smiling. This nigga, you see what I'm saying? So, you know, that was powerful, and it's something, you know, that we haven't seen done before, and it again is a testament to the times in which that we live in. Okay. The synagogue of Satan wants to keep us confused. The synagogue of Satan is written about in the book of Revelations, which we finna get to in a second. The synagogue of Satan is written about in the book of Revelations as those who stole the identity of the actual real Jews, which is us as black people, right? So he's basically saying that these people stole our identity and they want to keep us confused by giving us proverbs and bywords, calling us after different names like African American, West Indian, Jamaican, Panamanian, Bahamian, Haitian, Dominican, Puerto Rican, Cuban, all of these various proverbs and bywords that we aren't. We are the Israelites. Okay?
That's how we lose.
That's how we lose. How do we lose? By not knowing our actual nationality and identity and who we are, because we allowing these white people to dictate and tell us who we are and lie to us and steal our identity and our homeland and our heritage. Okay, so this is a lot of knowledge that this man is dropping in these few bars, and what makes it so powerful is the stage that he's on at the BET Hip Hop Awards, that every simple nigga in America is probably glued to the TV set watching.
Got the ill street blues from Chirac to England. Me and Common dropping bombs like the baby train. It's been established.
And it's all about the kingdom, because that's what it's about. It's about the kingdom. What is the kingdom? When us as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans rule the world. That's the kingdom. But I want to spin it back a little bit more. There was another part of his verse that I wanted to go a little earlier. It was something very powerful he said here.
The way he made words in the edibles was incredible. Herbs and spices, giving life out to the lifeless. Give price out to the priceless. The land with the dice has been documented as priceless. I roll sevens naturally. Devils who used to laugh at me bow to me internationally.
He said, devils that used to laugh at me bow to me internationally. So what he's talking about is these same white people that ridiculed him and looked down on him because of the status that he's rose to, or that he plans to rise to, either in this world or, you know, in the kingdom. These white people are going to bow down to him. Okay, so let's go to some scriptures. This is Revelations 2:9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Letting you know that there is a group of people who would steal the identity of the real Jews. Okay, the term Jew is a shortened form for Judah. Okay, the tribe of Judah. And most inclusively the kingdom of Judah, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Okay, the 3 tribes, African American, West Indian, Haitian. Okay, so he's saying, what? I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So that's what he was referring to when he was speaking about the synagogue of Satan, keeping us confused by stealing our identity and withholding it from us and giving us a false identity, an identity with no heritage, identity with no history, a make-believe identity, a byword like African American or black or Negro. You see what I'm saying? Let's go to Revelation 3 and 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and know that I have loved thee. Just like he said, devils that used to laugh at me bowed before me internationally. The Most High God said he was going to let us as blacks and Hispanics rule over this world and cause especially these devils amongst these other nations to bow before us. That's biblical prophecy. Why? Because we are his chosen people, as Jay Electronica said directly in that verse. He said God's chosen people. They laugh at us as God's chosen people, but the Lord and the Most High God is going to give us the last laugh. You know, and by giving us the last laugh, he's getting the last laugh. By getting over on these people and causing them to bow down before us. Okay? Now, you know, I wanted to start on the positive foot, the positive part of you know, the award show first. What I want to get into is the negative part, okay? Which you had 2 guys looking like straight faggots up there, okay? In particular, all right, which is this weirdo Wiz Khalifa out there with some white tights on, and I just did a video on Wiz Khalifa. You could check it out. It's called Black Hollywood Big Secret Exposed. This was shot prior to him getting those damn purple dreads in his head. But you know, I was going in on that, but you see him out here looking like a straight up homosexual. So in the same award show, we have a horrible display of a black man, an excuse for a black man, and a shame to us as a people. And then we have something positive like Jay Electronica letting it be known our true identity as the original Jews and God's chosen people. You know, but you got to take the good with the bad. That's why I say that this was, I was glad I actually watched this. But in addition to this homosexual Wiz Khalifa, we have this faggot, Young Thug. He's a Young Thug. He came out with pink skinny jeans on, you know, this tight ass blouse on, and then I couldn't find his other picture. But when he performed with T.I., he actually had a white skirt on under it. Yeah, he was wearing a poncho with a white skirt under it. A long white skirt under it. So, you know, this dude is a full-fledged flaming faggot. He's calling grown men his loves, his lovers, his babes, his hubbies, things of that nature. Also on the Black Hollywood Big Secret Exposed video, I touched on him, but what I want to touch on with him outside of his homosexual attire is this moment right here. Him and Birdman's handshake. I couldn't track down the video on YouTube. I think it's probably too soon for it to be up, but basically on, you know, during the performance he performed with Young Thug, not Young Thug, Rich Homie Quan, who he calls his hubby. And after this demon Birdman came out to the stage, and they did this long Masonic satanic handshake. You know, you see him throwing up the 666. Of course they're going to say that it's for the Bloods, and you know, it's for the Blood Gang, but there was a whole lot more to that handshake than blood hand signs. As somebody who come from the streets, you know, grew up gangbanging, things of that nature, there was a whole lot more than blood hand signs incorporated into that handshake. This screenshot, you know, this still shot just has them, you know, hitting the B up, but it was a whole lot more than that. And we know the B is also used to represent, you know, 666, you know, the number of the devil, of Satan. So, you know, it was really satanic. And Young Thug and Wiz Khalifa as well. But I want to focus on Young Thug because of this satanic handshake is being used as is being used. I believe he hit the stage three separate times. If not 3, then at least 2. At least here, and then with T.I. He hit the stage at least 2 or 3 times. Dressed, you know, in his faggotic apparel and attire. And you know, his songs are everywhere, and he's being, you know, one of the most blown up artists right now in the industry. And there's a reason for that. You have this guy standing behind him. Now we know Lil Wayne used to be in the position that Young Thug's in now, and he was really the first dude to kind of start ushering in the tight clothes or the more homosexual vibrations within the industry, and this guy was always behind it. He's like the mentor. Okay, when you start dealing with mentors and apprentices, what you're dealing with is a homosexual construct birthed in Greek phagetic homosexual society. Okay, between older Greek men and younger Greek boys, and they would bring them under their wing, teach them a trade, and in teaching them that trade, they would also engage in a sexual romantic relationship with them. We're seeing these same things in the hip-hop industry because the so-called white man, the Jews, the synagogue of Satan that runs the industry, initiates these black men into homosexual cults just like they're into, and perpetuates it, and trickles it on down the line. So this dude is on a master level now. You see what I'm saying? He's a master mentor now. So he has a homosexual apprenticeship relationship with Young Thug, just like he previously had with Lil Wayne. It's time to move Lil Wayne up out the way. He's getting old. He's getting tired. Now they bringing in this faggot Young Thug to further that homosexual agenda and perpetuate it into the minds of black youth. As a divisive tool, as population control, and things of that nature. It's pretty sickening, the type of stuff we see. Okay, but it's all a part of biblical prophecy, and there's no new thing under the sun. Okay, these are all things that we need to keep in mind. Pardon me, my voice is a little raspy right now, but let me go to Deuteronomy 21:5. And the priests, the sons of Levi. Oh, that's not even what I needed. It's a lot. It's Deuteronomy 20:5 I needed. It's 20:25. I'm tripping. Bear with me. Okay, the woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, right? A woman has no business wearing a man's apparel, right? Okay. Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God. So these niggas are abominations, wearing these tight women's like apparel, okay, and skirts and dresses and things like that this man is wearing. He's getting his fingernails polished, cheetah print, all that weird shit, man. That's an abomination in the eyes of the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Okay? So the Most High God is going to judge this wicked nigga, not only for his own personal sins, but for perpetuating it into the minds of his people, the so-called blacks and Hispanics. Okay? And especially this nigga, who is a grand puppet of the so-called white man. Alright? Let me get these other scriptures. I brought this one out also in the Black Hollywood Big Secret Exposed video, so check that out. This is 1 Kings 14, starting at verse 22. And Judah, who is Judah? Starting with the tribe of Judah, so-called African American man, but also the West Indian and Haitian man is the entire kingdom, right? And Judah did evil in the sight of the Lord, and they provoked him to jealousy with their sins which they had committed, right? Sinning against the Lord, man. Provoking them to jealousy and wrath and anger with their wickedness, idolatry, homosexuality, things of that nature, above all that their fathers had done. For they also built them high places and images and groves on every high hill and under every green tree. When you're dealing with this satanic handshake, this is all giving credence and paying homage to various idols and deities outside of the Most High God of Israel. Okay? And that handshake is something that indicates that you worship these false idols and deities. All right. Verse 24, and there were sodomites in the land, and they did according to all the abominations of the nations which the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. So these guys are doing according to the abominations of the nations, of the different Hamitic homosexuals, of the goddamn so-called white man who's a faggot in nature. This is who these niggas is following after, and they're encouraging millions upon millions of young blacks and Hispanics to do the same thing, and that's wicked, and they're going to be held accountable for this, and I pray, that I pray to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and I plan to praise Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai when they get their judgment. Okay, let me go to Ezekiel 8 starting at verse 1. And it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I sat in my house, and the elders of Judah sat before me, that the hand of the Lord God fell upon me. Then I beheld, and lo, a likeness as the appearance of fire, from the appearance of his loins even downward, fire, and from his loins even upward as the appearance of brightness, as the color of amber. And he put forth of a hand and took me by the lock of my head, and the Spirit lifted me up between the earth and the heaven, and brought me into visions of the Most High, to Jerusalem, to the door of the inner gate that looked toward the north, and where was the seat of the image of jealousy, which provoked to jealousy, talking about an idol that was erected that provoked the Most High God to jealousy. Okay, because we are God's chosen people. He said he likens us as a people, as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, to his woman. Okay, now if you catch your woman lusting after another man or messing with another man, it's going to provoke you to jealousy and anger and wrath, is it not? You see what I'm saying? So when our people are following after these other gods, that's how the Most High God feels, the same way you would if you caught your girl creeping on you. Okay, so you can understand. Verse 4. And behold, the glory of the God of Israel was there, according to the vision that I saw on the plain. Then said he unto me, Son of man, lift up thine eyes now the way toward the north. So I lifted up my eyes the way toward the north, and behold, northward at the gate of the altar, this image of jealousy in the entry. So you're seeing idols where the Most High God is supposed to be being worshipped. Okay, some of the wicked of our people did that in the ancient days, and many of our people are doing that in this day and age. Okay, going on to verse 6. He said furthermore unto me, Son of man, seest thou what they do, even the great abominations that the house of Israel committeth here, that I should go far off from my sanctuary? And this, when we see, things, I'm not like this, but when we see things like this, not only the homosexual, attire, but, the demonic Masonic handshakes, and, the face covered in tattoos with different deities and idols and symbolism on it, which all, again, gives credence to pagan gods, wicked pagan gods. You see what I'm saying? This is all provoking the Most High to jealousy, and this is what our people are all about, especially these niggas in this rap game, in this industry, because it's being controlled by the white people that serve these same deities and idols. Okay? But turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations. Verse 7. And he brought me to the door of the court, and when I looked, behold, a hole in the wall. And real quick, one of the main false images our people worship is that what you would know as the white Jesus, which isn't Jesus at all, which is a cracker faggot, okay, which is false. According to the Bible, who the world calls Christ is a so-called black man, black skin, white woolly hair, dark brown skin, white woolly hair. That's one of the chief images that our people are into, and a lot of these niggas in the rap game is running around with iced out pieces with that faggot cracker's face on it, okay? Or a woman who they say is Mary, which is not, which is a ancient pagan god known as Ashtoreth or Semiramis, which is known as the Queen of Heaven. So this is all wickedness that our people have been committing for millennia. Okay, this is not new. All right, and the Lord is always going to judge those who partake in this wickedness. All right, when we continue, verse 8. Then you said unto me, Son of man, dig now in the wall. And when I had digged in the wall, behold, a door. And he said unto me, Go in and behold the wicked abominations that they do there. So I went in and saw, and behold, every form of creeping things and abominable beasts, and all the idols of the house of Israel, portrayed upon the wall round about, talking about all these various idols that our people serve. And these niggas in this rap game serve countless idols. You see it within their music videos. Like you got this guy Drake, he's got his little movement, October's very own, OVO. What is the symbol an owl? What does the owl go back to? A Canaanite deity by the name of Molech that people used to sacrifice their children to. So then he makes music, and these young women hear his music and go out and get abortions. You see what I'm saying? And that same owl is erected in the Bohemian Grove. They got a 40-foot owl erected in the Bohemian Grove. You see a reenactment of that type of scenery in Drake's video. What is it called? I forget, but on the hook he's saying they know or whatever. You see them, they're in the woods, they're standing on some type of altar thing, and you got the owl up there. You see what I'm saying? But in the Bohemian Grove, they got that 40-foot owl, and they actually sacrifice children to it every year. The top government officials and actors in this country go to this all-men's boys camp, okay, and actually sacrifice children to this owl. You could look it up, Bohemian Grove. Alex Jones did an expose on it. way back, I think 10, 15 years ago. But I'm going to keep going. And he said unto me, go in and behold the wicked abominations that they do there. So I went in and saw, and behold, every form of creeping things and abominable beasts, and all the idols of the house of Israel portrayed upon the wall round about. Verse 11, and there stood before them 70 men of the ancients of the house of Israel. And in the midst of them stood Jazaniah the son of Shaphan, with every man his censer in his hand, and a thick cloud of incense went up. They were burning incense and paying homage to all these various false deities, to this wicked pantheon. And these niggas in this rap game are doing the same thing today. And these older niggas, because look, it says the ancients of the house of Israel. These older niggas, like this fucking faggot nigga Birdman, is leading these younger niggas into it, so they can lead masses of young niggas into it. You see? Verse 12. Then he said unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark? Because it just looks like all fun and games. Oh yeah, we just bloods, and it's all good, this and that on the outside, but behind closed doors, these niggas is having sex with each other, and that's not even behind closed doors. Him and Lil Wayne kiss each other on the mouth openly, but the niggas is fucking each other, and they doing all type of strange rituals and things like that, because the white man told them to do it. That's really their God, the white man. Okay. Then he said unto me, Son of man, hast thou seest what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark? Every man in the chambers of his imagery, right? Following after these different images and these false gods. For they say, the Lord seeth us not. The Lord has forsaken the earth. So they think, oh, look, the Most High, God don't care what we doing. He said, fuck this place. He got us in the hood. He got us destroyed. So fuck it. I'm going to just say fuck it and just do it anyway. I'm going to sell my soul. That's the mindset and mentality of these niggas. Little do they know that same mentality is what got us in this predicament as a destroyed people in this place anyway. So what we got to do is come back to the law, statutes, commandments, and the ways of the Heavenly Father. Come back to our ancient nationality and heritage given to us by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua to the best of our abilities in this place. Okay? And that's how we're going to get out of this predicament, not by selling out and selling our souls to the goddamn white man and leading millions of niggas into idolatry and faggotry. That's crazy. Real quick, this is Judges 5 and 11. They that are delivered from the noise of the archers, meaning those of us that are going to be delivered from the destruction and judgment of this place, which is coming soon by thermonuclear destruction. In the places of drawing water. What it mean, the place of drawing water, mean the place in which we are serving slavery. Drawing water is synonymous with slavery. Because what do slaves do? They go to the well to draw water. Okay? There shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord. So here we have to rehearse the righteous acts toward the Lord. So we can be what? Delivered up out of this place. Saved from the destruction of this place. But only the elect and the 1/3 of our people are going to be saved saved from the destruction of this place. And then 66.6% of our people, or 2/3 of our people, are going to be destroyed. Niggas who worship this shit. You see that? And I didn't even realize, he's throwing up the B and he's throwing up the Baphomet. You see that? I didn't even realize that till right now. You see that? That's 666. They totally paying homage to Satan. They're throwing up these two horns. You see what I'm saying? That's what they're doing. They paying homage to Satan. And they're going to be a part of that 66.6% in this country of our people. They get burnt up with thermonuclear fire, and rightfully so, because they got in bed with the white man and traded on all of us. All right? Even the righteous act toward the inhabitant of his villages in Israel, then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates. So we here to rehearse the righteous acts, man. Do the best we can in serving Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, the Most High God, so we can be delivered up out of this place. Okay? That's how we get salvation. That's how we get help from on high. Not from selling out and selling our soul. Okay? But with that, that was my commentary on the BET Hip Hop Awards 2014. Again, call Halal Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, which means all praises to the Most High God in the name of his only begotten Son. Shalom.